Okay, picture this. Bani Suef, Egypt, 2013. It's about 8:30 at night. You're on a road between villages long, dark, really lonely.
Utter darkness,
Hmm.
flanked by farms,
Yeah.
and there's this irrigation canal, the Terra nearby.
Hmm.
The sounds are just emptiness, isolation.
Exactly. Then you've got these two young guys on a motorcycle, their single headlight just slicing through this pitch black.
And suddenly they spot something. Someone emerging right from the area near the canal.
Yeah, a figure. And get this soaking wet, covered in mud and spotted with blood, fresh blood.
That's a sight. And their first instinct, maybe yours too, is basic human decency.
Yeah.
They stop. They have to help, right?
They stop. But the person they find isn't just some poor soul who had an accident. This was, well, it was something else entirely.
A performance. A trap.
Totally.
Yeah.
The man stumbles over, claims he's incredibly sick, severe stomach problems, says he slipped near the water while vomiting, hurt himself. That explains the mud, the blood you see.
A plausible story, right? Just enough detail. He asks them for help getting back to his taxi, which is parked nearby. But the taxi is completely dark. Silent.
And just as they get near the taxi, thinking they're helping this poor sick guy, another person just melts out of the shadow.
Right. Now there are two of them, and the second guy jumps right into the act.
He does. He ramps up the urgency, says the first guy isn't just sick, he's suffering from low blood sugar, maybe collapsing from it.
And then comes the ask, the crucial misdirection.
Please, they say, ride to the village, fast.
Yeah.
We need water with sugar for him right now before he passes out.
It's genius in a chilling way. They're weaponizing basic kindness, creating this life-or-death scenario.
And it works perfectly. The two young men on the bike, convinced they're on a rescue mission, they just speed off.
The second their motorcycle sound fades, vroom, the taxi engine starts. Not gently, it roars to life.
And it just tears off into the night. Gone. The witnesses, heading the other way, they probably felt good, thinking they helped rush someone to the hospital.
Little did they know, they'd just been expertly manipulated by two murderers who needed to clear the scene.
Exactly. And that brings us to our deep dive today. This is a case where the violence was just staggering. But the motive, it was so tangled up in maybe delusion. Police really struggled to figure out what was real and what wasn't.
It wasn't just about who did it, but this fundamental why. Why such excessive, almost personal rage?
So the night covers for them. The morning comes.
And the sun reveals what the darkness hid. Farmers starting their day find the taxi, just sitting there by the road.
Doors locked. Empty. But inside. Well, the driver's seat particularly, just soaked in blood. They knew immediately. This wasn't just abandoned.
No, this was violence. They called the police right away.
And then, maybe 10 minutes later, barely half a kilometer down the road.
Another grim discovery. Residents find a body in the shallow water of that same canal, the Terra.
Police arrive, and it clicks immediately. The bloody taxi, the body in the canal. They're connected.
The scene gets processed. The victim. A young man. Turns out he's Mahmoud, 26 years old. A taxi driver.
But the injuries, they were brutal. A deep slit across the throat, like a slaughter. And multiple stab wounds, abdomen, chest, side, just everywhere.
The forensics, the blood trails, they indicated the killing probably happened near where the body was found. Then the car was driven a bit further and ditched.
The taxi registration confirms it's local, Bani Suef, but nobody nearby recognizes Mahmoud.
So who was he? Police find out he rented the taxi, seemed financially stable, people liked him, worked a night shift, which fits.
But here's the puzzle. His phone and money were gone. Suggests robbery, right?
On the surface, yes. But that level of violence, slitting the throat, stabbing repeatedly, that's not typical for a simple robbery. It's personal. It's overkill.
And if it was just robbery, why leave the taxi? That's the valuable thing.
Exactly. The violence felt like rage, like fury directed at him specifically, not just a means to an end. Something deeper was going on than just theft.
So not just about money, it felt profoundly personal.
That's what investigators thought too. They zeroed in on that time window. Mahmoud's last call came in at 6:00 p.m., just a 1-minute call. By 9:00 p.m., his phone was off. The murder happened in those 3 hours.
And then a breakthrough. Remember those two young guys on the motorcycle?
Yes, the witnesses who were tricked.
They hear about the murder, about the taxi found near the canal, and it clicks for them too. They go straight to the police.
And they identify the taxi, they tell the whole story, the sick man, the mud, the blood, the plea for sugar water.
Which confirms the police suspicion. They weren't dealing with common thugs. These were calculated killers.
Calculated is the word. Using kindness as a shield. Making sure their witnesses drove away before the worst of it. or at least before the body was discovered near the road. It's psychologically astute in a very dark way.
So the police have the witnesses, the timeline, the method. The next piece is that 6:00 p.m. phone call. Where did it come from?
They traced it, not to a mobile, but to a landline, a general phone at a mobile repair shop.
Oh.
And this shop was located in a village quite far away, but crucially, right next to a cafe popular with taxi drivers.
Ah, the setup. A public phone, hard to trace directly to one person, and the location makes it easy to find a driver.
Precisely. It's a classic lure. Call for a long-distance fare, something a night shift driver would likely take to get him out onto that isolated road.
Did they have visuals? CCTV?
They did. Reviewed the footage from near the shop, and bingo. A single person enters the shop just before 6 p.m., makes a call, leaves about 5 minutes later. Matches the time perfectly.
And they identified him.
Yes. He was identified as Waleed, 26 years old, also a driver, and he had a prior criminal record.
So they bring him in.
They arrest Waleed, and apparently he didn't hold out long. He confessed almost immediately. Admitted he was the second man, the one who appeared near the taxi when the witnesses stopped.
The assistant.
Exactly. He insisted he only helped. The main person, the one who planned it, the one who was supposedly sick, that, he said, was his relative, Ragaab.
Ragaab. So Waleed points the finger straight at him.
He does. And suddenly, this isn't just about a robbery gone wrong anymore.
Yeah.
It's shifting into something much stranger.
So they arrest Ragaab. Does he confess to?
Instantly. But his reason, it floored everyone. He didn't mention money. He said he killed Mahmoud for a completely different reason.
Which was?
To, and I quote, save people's daughters. Specifically, one woman, Nora.
Save people's daughters? What does that even mean? Who is Nora?
That's what investigators had to unravel. Ragaab was 24, also a driver. About 3 months before the murder, he picks up a customer named Nora. Apparently, she was very beautiful, captivating.
Okay, a customer relationship starts.
It seems to have escalated quickly. He drove around for about 2 weeks, but she was mysterious. Always changing pickup spots, never revealing where she actually lived, kept him at arm's length, physically at least.
Red flags, maybe? But he was smitten.
Completely infatuated, it seems. After just a month of knowing her, driving her around, Ragaab proposed marriage.
Wow, that's fast. What did she say?
She accepted, but there was a condition. A terrible secret she needed to reveal first.
Uh-oh. Here it comes.
She told Ragaab this story. 6 months earlier, Mahmoud, the man Ragaab would later kill, had allegedly drugged her with juice, taken her to his apartment, assaulted her, and filmed the whole thing.
Oh my God. That's horrific if true.
If true. Nora claimed Mahmoud had been blackmailing her ever since with these videos and photos. Her life was ruined, she said. She was desperate. She needed Ragaab, her new fiancé, her hero, to get those recordings back from Mahmoud.
Wait a minute. She accepts his proposal and then drops this bombshell that requires him to basically confront, possibly violently, another man.
Exactly. And this is where Ragaab's perception of reality seems to just break. Any logical person might ask, why didn't you go to the police? Where's the proof of this blackmail?
Right. Did he ask any of that?
Apparently not. According to the investigation, Nora played heavily on his feelings for her, his desire to be her protector, maybe his fear she'd leave him if he didn't help. He bought the story completely. Hook, line, and sinker.
He didn't just buy it. He decided on a course of action based on it.
He did. His mission became clear. Eliminate Mahmoud and the threat he supposedly posed. He first contacted Mahmoud, seemingly about these alleged videos, which led to some kind of argument or fight.
Okay, so there was contact before the murder.
Yes, but initiated by Ragaab, based on Nora's story. After the fight, Ragaab decided Mahmoud couldn't just be confronted. He had to be killed. That's when he involved Waleed.
To make the phone call, lure him out?
Exactly. Waleed makes the call, sets up the fake long-distance fare. They get Mahmoud out onto that deserted road.
And then?
Once the three of them were there, in the darkness, Ragaab pulls out a knife. He tells Mahmoud why he's doing this because of Nora. Reports suggest Mahmoud was completely confused, didn't seem to understand the accusation.
He didn't even know what Ragaab was talking about.
It seems not. Then, with Waleed helping restrain Mahmoud, Ragaab attacked him. The throat slitting, the repeating stabbings, the extreme violence we talked about, he killed him right there near the canal.
Just brutal, based entirely on this story Nora told him.
But here's the twist. The final, chilling piece of the puzzle.
What is it?
Nora, the woman he was supposedly saving, the reason for this entire horrific act. She had disappeared 2 days before the murder. Ragaab couldn't contact her.
Wait, she vanished before he killed Mahmoud.
Yes, he carried out this murder, this supposed rescue mission, for someone who wasn't even there. He killed Mahmoud for a ghost. An Afreet, as some might say in this context, a phantom.
So after the arrests, the police obviously try to find Nora. She's crucial.
Absolutely. But they couldn't find her anywhere. It was literally like she didn't exist, or at least
Yeah.
the version Ragaab described didn't, the Afreet of the story's title.
But they did eventually find the real woman Ragaab was referring to.
They did, after a lot of searching. And when they talked to her, Ragaab's entire narrative just collapsed.
What did the real Nora say?
She confirmed she knew Ragaab, yes, as a taxi driver who drove her sometimes, but she denied everything else.
No romantic relationship, no proposal.
None. She denied any assault by Mahmoud, any drugging incident, any blackmail, any videos whatsoever.
So the whole story about Mahmoud blackmailing her was fabricated.
According to her, yes. Completely fabricated by Ragaab. The only thing she recalled telling Ragaab about Mahmoud, who was just another driver she'd encountered once, was that he'd maybe tried to flirt with her or harass her slightly on one occasion. That was it.
A minor incident, maybe inappropriate flirting, gets twisted into drugging, assault, blackmail, and murder.
That's what the investigation concluded. There was no prior conflict between Ragaab and Mahmoud, apart from the one Ragaab initiated based on the false story. Mahmoud wasn't the predator Ragaab painted him to be.
It's almost unbelievable. So Ragaab invented this whole elaborate justification.
It appears so. Both he and Waleed were convicted of premeditated murder, sentenced to death. But the question lingers, doesn't it? Why? Why did Ragaab commit such a savage killing based on a fiction? And why did Waleed go along with it?
What does this tell us? Was Ragaab truly delusional? Did he genuinely believe this elaborate lie he constructed?
It's hard to say definitively without a full psychiatric profile, but the facts suggest a powerful delusion, or at least a profound self-deception. He needed a justification for violence, perhaps. Mahmoud hadn't actually wronged him in any significant way, so Ragaab created a narrative where Mahmoud was a monster and he, Ragaab, was the hero.
The rescue of Nora wasn't the reason, it was the excuse.
Precisely. It provided the license, the permission slip in his own mind, to enact extreme violence. He transformed a minor grievance, possibly based on a single comment from Nora, into a justification for murder. It highlights the difference between a reason for a crime and a justification created by the perpetrator.
And Waleed just assisted, with no apparent benefit for himself.
His motives remain murky, perhaps loyalty, perhaps coercion, perhaps his own issues, but he enabled Ragaab's fantasy to become a deadly reality. The true Afreet, the real ghost in this story, wasn't Nora. It was the phantom narrative inside Ragaab's head.
So we're left with this incredibly disturbing picture. A brutal murder, meticulously planned, driven by a motive that simply wasn't real.
And think about this. If the victim wasn't a monster, if the entire motive was conjured out of thin air to justify violence, what does that say about the potential for darkness lurking just beneath the surface? How easily can someone create a justification to do the unthinkable?
It makes you wonder how many justifications people build for themselves, how firmly they believe them, even when they lead to destroying someone else.
It's a chilling thought. The Afreet of Nora is a stark reminder of how reality can be twisted, how delusion can take hold, and how quickly it can all unravel into unimaginable violence. It really leaves you pondering the ghosts we create in our own minds.